Yes. Right.
Well, that is the negotiation is established in the way.
I'm sorry, it's established in what?
Establishing the way for a public office. It is not a negotiation, it should become a public session.
Well, after our discussion, we can come out and make that announcement in public session.
The discussion should be public.
Well, we can discuss it publicly. I don't have a real problem with it. Right, I mean, right, it's, the starting salary in the town budget is $71,000. I've thought of this today, and what I would like to throw in front of the board is that we would offer $65,000 to start. $65,000 would be our opening offer or to start. After whatever the committee thinks, 6 months, after a 6-month review, we give them a step in wages. We're at 71, starting at 65, and I think that's pretty much. I'd have to go back.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I think that's where Paul started, because he got 3 pay raises.
Right.
And it was about a 2,000 something bump each time. So my feeling is if we start them at 65, we review them, not at the end of we'll put a review in there after maybe 6 months with some kind of incentive. And then we're gonna negotiate a 3-year contract with them anyway, so.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but is that in consideration of the fact that they will ask for a car?
They will what?
Ask for a car?
They would have a car available, yes. Yep.
I'm new to this aspect of the discussion. What was the chief who was serving prior to Chief Lundin paid?
About 6.
47, I think it was.
Huh?
It was like 47. It was extremely low.
It was very low, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Steve McClatchy.
Right. It was about 47 grand, I think, if I remember right.
And we bumped it up. It may not have been 65. It might have been less than 65.
What? All starting?
Yeah. Do you think it was 65?
It was-
It might have been a little less than
It was right around
65, but it was right around there.
Yeah. Around 65.
But we can get that figure from the town.
I see, because I was wondering if it might be more appropriate, considering the size of the force, considering the well, I guess it might be considering the size of the force. I'm wondering if it's not more appropriate to have the police chief's salary more in line with the salary that the fire chief receives and the highway supervisor.
The problem you're going to have with that is you're not going to have anybody applying that has any type of command experience and stuff like that, because it wouldn't be beneficial for anybody to take those jobs. That's why when we did
We had to review.
like 3 years ago, when we first hired Chief Lundin, we went through a review, and even at that point, 65 was very low for police chief.
I think it was at 65. I'm going to say the next neighboring town was in between 78 and 82.
Yeah, so we're already below.
There's not much of a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's quite a bit of, well, even the highway and the fire chief's salary is quite a difference from, you know, you can't look at Fitchburg, but that chief
Well,
is,
the difference with the highway superintendent, though, too, is being hourly, he also gets winter overtime. It's not a salary position, so you can look at total compensation, not just the actual pay scale.
I see, because my perception is that I don't think that we'll ever be looking to hire a police chief that would make this the last step in his career ladder, so to speak. You know, and
Yeah, you don't know.
I think that it would, well, even with the last one, you know, we wound up with just 3 years, but yeah, my thought is it necessary to be that much further ahead with the police chief's salary than we are with the fire chief and the and the highway supervisor, because when it comes to, responsibilities, as far as managing personnel, in essence, the fire chief manages a significantly larger group,
Yeah, but it's not every day.
and
It's only when there's fires and meetings.
Yeah.
He's managing his group 24/7. So that would be one factor. The other factor, I think it's something I read, was that, expectations were 59,000 and above, I think, from all the candidates. I mean, I don't know if that
Oh, see,
59 guy.
No, see, I didn't see any of those.
The other issue we have, and we may run into, is that, the town administrator, right, is over personnel and over everything, and probably is a heavier workload as the police chief, and we're paying the police chief more money than we're paying the town administrator.
Yes.
So, as we move forward, that's why I'm saying if 65,000 was a good starting point, when we start to look for a new town administrator, either that salary we have or the salary we need to go to may need to be adjusted. Or is that 56,000 we have as a town administrator, is that good enough for part-time? That will be something we will decide down the road, but 65,000, I mean, if we can get a police chief for $65,000, I mean, with the surrounding towns and what they pay, I think it'd be great. I'm just thinking we may end up negotiating a little higher. I'm looking at 65 as a starting point.
And this is the advantage of executive session, because now we have a bunch of people here who know that, and a viewing community that know that, we'll start at 65, but we might go a little higher.
Well,
You
it's
know.
no different than any other position.
Going to go higher.
But 65, I think, and Kate, could you look up for us what the starting salary was for the police chief, Paul Lundeen, when he started? You'd have that right somewhere, or Nancy. Could you ask Nancy when you see her? It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could be.
Friday would be good.
Yeah, no. We're not gonna meet again till January 6th, so you could give the information, you could email the information out to us and then we'd have it. But I'm pretty close, I think it was around 65,000. And then the other thing we're gonna need eventually is the police chief's contract that he had, as we move forward. What do you think? You think that's a good starting point?
That's exactly what I had in my head before you said it, so, yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, I'll defer to your judgment and experience.
Great minds think alike. Just jump on board, Joe.
You know what? I'd be happy to jump on board on this one. You got to learn.
Okay, from us to you, Merry Christmas.
One
You have
other thing, too.
Sorry.
In our packet, we received this newsletter from the